Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tasha. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. No periodic table, no alien talk tonight. However, we will get into this message that the Creator gave us. All right. First of all, I hope y'all enjoyed y'all's weekend. I hope y'all been drinking y'all water and getting y'all rest because summer is upon us, right? We got to be rested and hydrated to be out in that sun, right? Yesterday, I did not record. I was actually led not to record. Most of the time, and we had this conversation, right? The difference between being led and being instructed. So I wanted to first just say nothing actually happened, but this is the first week where I went 2 days without recording since we've been recording every day. Let me just first say that. There have been instances where I've been having a day and I just missed the time to record. There has been times where the Creator just put me to sleep, right? And I wake up and it's after midnight, because obviously once midnight comes, we're into the next day. So it wouldn't make sense to record because it'll just be for the following day. There have been instances where life happened and I'm just like, you know what? Nope, get somebody else to do it. And then there have been times where God said no. Don't record, get some rest. There were 2 separate occasions where I was just having a day. I was 2 different concerts that I was preparing for, and I used the time of my day to get ready for the concert, and I didn't record. 2 separate concerts on 2 different occasions. And like I said, there has been times where I was given clear instructions. I know one was on my father's birthday. One was on Mother's Day. There has been a few days where I've just been like, nope. So I think when that happens, there's some sort of reset that needs to happen with me. Some sort of balance. A lot of people, and I've addressed this multiple times, more than once, where I was given the notion that, someone's doing witchcraft and trying to throw me off my pivot. Trust me, boo-boo, you don't got strong enough juju, okay? If God doesn't want me to record, I won't record. If God wants me to record, I will record. There are times where I've been asleep the whole day. I'll wake up to record and go right back to sleep. So it's not really up to man. It's not even up to me. God is in control of this podcast. This is God's podcast for God's people. And I don't want anyone to make the assumption that if I'm not recording, it is a result of their spiritual efforts to knock me off my pivot or have anyone who's listening miss the message. None of that stuff is going on, okay? I can assure you. With that being said, because I didn't record yesterday, it kind of felt awkward to not record. It always feels awkward to not record, but there's always a spiritual lesson in that. And we've talked about the necessity and the importance of getting your rest and how important it is to tap in and just really stay vigilant, because there's always a message and a download if you are listening and paying attention. And yesterday was no different. I did a lot of moving around yesterday. I was actually in a lot of pain over the course of the weekend, so I just really did need to get some rest. And sometimes the vessel will shut down from taking any downloads because you absolutely need to get your rest. I mean, the downloads are always there, right? But if you are not well, if you are not taking care of your physical vessel, your mental state of mind, your mental health, it'll be really, really likely that the messages that you're gonna get, they kind of start getting distorted, or you kind of just lose sight of the different messages that you need to put out, how to dissect them and interpret them, and all of that jazz, right? None of us have a strong enough relationship with ourselves to dissect messages in a way that the Creator would want us to give them to people individually. So this is why He gives us names and locations and fragrances and certain frequencies that will allow us to make the distinction between who gets what, right? Most of the time, if you are a prophet, a messenger of any sort, it doesn't matter what gifts you have been given, the Creator will allow you to understand your role and how important it is for you to take that role, to take said role, and use it to get yourself in a position where you are secure with taking messages. And because rest is so important for your, not only your spiritual functioning, but your mental functioning, the spiritual aspect of the rest is partly, some of that rest is what allows you to visit the spiritual realm in the first place, right? When you're in this vulnerable state of resting, of sleeping, even if you're not in a deep sleep. So I think we need to start going into, I don't necessarily do this because I'm really good at remembering my dreams, but I think remembering the conversations you have in your dreams. And I think we did a segment about writing down your dreams, trying to remember your dreams, trying to tap into them, learning how to interpret them, learning how to make the distinction between your different messages in your dreams. We had that talk. I think the first portion of this segment was just me, again, going into, because I don't think a lot of people got it yet, being able to go into the distinction between separating the instructions from being led. I don't know why that keeps coming up. I don't know if there are new people coming in and they need to hear that, or if there are people who are listening and they still haven't quite understood the difference between being led and being instructed, right? There are tons of ways to know. I mean, you have to know the voice of God. And basically, that's just the simple aspect of it. You get instructions when you know the voice of God, when you are aware of the warfare, when you are aware of what's going on. Your awareness and your ability to make distinctions is what makes the difference, okay? When you are led, it's because there are some aspects and some portions that you're unaware of. Sometimes God doesn't reveal certain things to you. Even if you are spiritually in tune, spiritually seasoned, spiritually mature, there still are some things that you haven't tapped into yet. So there are some things you haven't been made privy of, right? There's tons of different things that you can do to assure yourself of your connection, and if you're getting messages and downloads, if it's those inner voices, or if it's some demonic low vibrational influence trying to consume you, right? We have a duty. You have a spiritual responsibility, a spiritual duty to make sure that the things you're connected to is of a higher vibration. You have a duty. And listen, because we know and we've discussed that it's just some people's purpose to come here and raise hell and bring out that equilibrium, to bring out the warfare, to get us to understand and see the dark sides in physical manifestation form, then you'll get it, right? God didn't create all of us good. So there are some people who are simply doing their job by just being low vibrational, being bad, doing shit they shouldn't be doing, right? Like, all of this is a part of us being able to make those great distinctions, and just knowing if someone is being used by the devil or if God created them to be like walking karma. And then you have people who are good, who are walking karma. So if you're good and you're walking karma, it's like anyone who does something to you, they get some really messed up karma. Or there are people, if you come into their space, you are getting karma. You're going to be on the receiving end of bad karma, okay, of karma, not dharma. Dharma is the good energy that is recycled and refunneled back to you after you've put it out into the universe. The overall purpose of this is to not be unhinged, okay? You don't want to be unhinged. You want to maintain in this equilibrium where you can see both ends of the spectrum. You don't never want to be so high of a vibration that you get to miss all of the things that the Creator intends for you to see. You don't want to be so low of a vibration that you are so far away from obtaining anything good. And you yourself, you have to be able to understand where God has you. And you have to be able to know when to make the pivot, no matter which direction you're turning. I don't believe that any of us are just born like fucked up and bad, right? But there is an aspect of our lives where we have to admit that some people have just been bad from their childhood. And some of them are spirits that are serving as karma for the bloodline, right? Some of these bloodlines, they have it where it's set up where certain entities and forces cannot come from them, can come to them or come for them. So it's coming from them. They're being reprimanded by their own because of how their bloodline has been set up. It's multiple ways to look at this and go about this, but I think this conversation was just more of like a check-in and a reminder, and to really just, we had the talk of, why it's important to stay vigilant and just stay on task, and really just trying to learn the difference between what makes us the spiritual people we are, whether we're of the world or not, okay? There are tons of ways to really learn how to just understand God in his many facets. And we don't have to necessarily tap into that, right? A lot of that has nothing to do with our purpose and what God wants us to do. But the awareness is what's going to carry your spirit and your vibration into the next threshold. Learning, and we talked about this, right? We can know all the stuff we want to know, but if we don't apply it properly and naturally, then we're going to be running into some problems. It's our job to start using the information to our benefit, to start understanding the things that we are learning, the things that we are doing, the things that we are stepping into to be something we need to be grateful for, right? Just having that spiritual insight. It really is a gift because everyone doesn't have it. All right, but I'm going to end it here. I do love y'all. Hope y'all have been drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea because it's free. Love y'all. Peace.